Hey everyone, Andrew from Retro Island Gaming here, and I got tagged! I got tagged by my buddy Wes from the Nefarious Wes channel to do a top 5 most nostalgic video games video. For this video, I'm going to spice things up a bit and cover just DOS games. And for those of you who do not like DOS games, well, this will probably just ruin everything, but stick around and maybe you'll find it interesting anyway. What better game to start with than my first ever DOS experience, Jill of the Jungle. Man, hearing that music and seeing all that color excited me as a kid, as I had only known Apple II or NES games. Plus, the protagonist definitely caught my eye. I personally never cared about the story growing up, but hey, let's see what's in store for us. You are Jill of the Jungle, the brave and beautiful star of this game. Your journey will lead you through startling action and puzzle sequences as you zoom through 16 gigantic levels. Okay, so the story is more like reading the back of the box, but the good news, it isn't lying. Jill is easy to control with standard platforming mechanics and an attack button. The throwing knife and spinning blade can each be found in numerous stages. I used to love throwing a knife beyond an enemy, only to trap the foe on the knife's return. Her goal is to traverse the overworld and battle her way through numerous levels. The game has 2 more episodes in Jill Goes Underground and Jill Saves the Prince. There are slight differences in the overworld section, otherwise it's just more awesome side-scrolling action. The levels vary with the visuals and music. Yes, each level basically has its own soundtrack. Beat that, Mario! Some require intense combat, puzzle solving, or death-defying gymnastics to survive. A few power-ups allow transforming from human to fish, phoenix, or even a frog. Anyone looking for a platformer for DOS to try, look no further than Jill of the Jungle. The Ultima series is old. Hell, it's older than me, and I'm no spring chicken anymore. My first taste was the Ultima collection of games 1 through 6. The early Ultimas were very basic, and the DOS versions left a lot to the imagination. That is, until I got to trying the latest game at the time, Ultima VI. Its 256 color and ad-lib supported music really brought Ultima to the, well, at the time, modern era. It's no surprise I ended up spending most of my time with this title over all the others. The box cover shows us the Avatar, our protagonist, as he crushes a nasty gargoyle beneath his feet, while light shines down upon his heroic act. The gargoyles have crept up from the underworld and are beginning to corrupt the shrines of virtue across Britannia. Lord British demands we cleanse the shrines, banish the evil gargoyles, and bring peace once again. Little did I know at the time, this was all a setup. Maybe the answer to the gargoyles isn't fighting, but developing an understanding with one another. But being unable to speak their language or even know their homeworld means there's a lot to discover. What made Ultima VI so great for me was the ability to do whatever I wanted in a world, thanks to a game engine that made it all possible. Immersion was key with this title. It plays as a top-view, tile-based RPG, and unlike the previous games, the cities were now merged with the overworld. Citizens had daily tasks, such as working the counter at a weapons store. They would leave their shops at sundown and hit the bar before going to sleep in their homes until morning. Everything in the game could just about be interacted with, and kids go nuts for this stuff. You can even drag a castle's cannon and start a rebellion against the monarchy, starting with that damn jester. Elvira 2, The Jaws of Cerberus. I have covered the original game on my channel, but as a kid, I had this particular game, the sequel, instead. Why I had this? I have no idea, but thanks for thinking I'd like the game, Dad. This game follows much in the same vein as Elvira 1. Think of a 3D maze-style point-and-click adventure game with survival horror elements and RPG touches. Luckily, I had seen the 1988 movie, so I was well aware of who Elvira was. I guess I could think of a couple reasons why my dad bought this. What makes this nostalgic for me was the unfortunate side effect I'd have while playing it. I was about 9 years old at the time, and no 9-year-old should be playing such a complicated game. It took a lot of trial and error on my part to solve the game's mechanics and conquer the gameplay. The biggest obstacle though, the visuals. A girl's head on a platter? Not good for young Andrew. If I played this game, then I was going to have nightmares. It got me every time, but I would push through and play anyway. To this day, I haven't finished it, and each time I want to explore it, I get a little nervous about going to bed after. Ultima Underworld. Don't let the name fool you, this is not a typical Ultima adventure. We play as the Avatar again, sent to save Britannia from whatever pressing issue has befallen the land. A girl is kidnapped by a vile wizard, and we get blamed and tossed into the dungeon of no return. I thought the voice acting was jaw-dropping at the time. Now, it's a bit comical.
A score of us gave chase, but it fled into the Stygian abyss with poor Ariel.
Hard to believe, but this released before Wolfenstein 3D. It revolutionized 3D gaming and set the bar for quality. Previous 3D games were tile-based mazes that required intense mapping. Now we can look around freely, even jump and land in an underground river. The Underworld is a dark, depressing place with stranded individuals attempting to survive their imprisonment. Previously, the Abyss was a welcomed home to various unified factions, like a band of honorable knights or a society of wizards. But there were also non-human groups like goblins and trolls who all worked together with one another to carve out a utopian community in the Stygian Abyss. Clearly, something went wrong, as this place is now sealed off and ignored. Interacting with the downcast citizens teaches us a lot about the Underworld, past and present, and how to improve our own situation. My favorite aspect was the character development. Creating a character is fun, and fighting or exploring increases experience points to achieve new levels. This gives us the opportunity to increase our skills like sword fighting, magic casting, or picking locks. The skills are quite numerous, and only a few can be mastered before a level cap is reached. There was a sequel, but the series died with it. Thankfully, the Elder Scrolls games took up where Ultima Underworld left off, and carries the torch to this day. To everyone enjoying Skyrim, we have this original series to thank. Spellcraft, Aspects of Valor. Now here's a game I don't hear much about, and what a shame, because it's not only my most nostalgic game of all time, it's also my favorite. Our hero, Robert, flies to meet his uncle in Stonehenge, over in England. Stepping inside, he teleports to a new dimension, the magical realm. Robert is given a sword and cape by his uncle, and told he has the gift of magic. This is the start of a wild journey to learn the magic arts and prepare for the uprising of the Lord Wizards, who are planning to invade and take over Terra. Spellcraft has 3 main gameplay sections. First is traveling Terra to talk to other like-minded friends, second is researching spells, and third is fighting in the elemental domains. Fighting is the obvious fun part, so pick an elemental domain and hop in. Aggressive orcs wrenched from the earth, poisonous undead who rise from the watery depths, and radiant, lifelike illusions of air can all be dispatched with the sword. But casting magic will be faster, easier, and way more satisfying. The domains roast, buckle, and freeze under the amazing spectacle of a wizard unleashing his power. However, magic use isn't free and comes at the cost of Robert's own life force. The biggest obstacles are the enemy wizards who are ready to defend their territory with summoned armies and their own destructive spells. Taking a break in Terra is well advised. Robert's allies live all over and provide information and necessary spell ingredients. Each place is a historic location on Earth, such as Pompeii, Italy, Mount Fuji, Japan, or even a museum in Salem, Massachusetts. All these real-world places are on my bucket list, and to this day, I haven't been to a single one. Damn, I need to get on that. Robert's spellbook starts out empty, but slowly fleshes out into a massive grimoire of occult technology. Each spell must be researched in the spell mixer by combining an aspect with numerous minor ingredients, followed up with a mystical incantation. Success means a new spell for his spellbook, but failure results in death, so be very cautious. I loved researching a new spell, improving it in my magic study, and then unleashing it live on the battlegrounds. What a rush! Those wizards will be running for their lives. I'll never tire of this game. Well, that's the list. Have any of you played these games and had fond memories while playing them? Or maybe some unfond memories like I did with Elvira 2? Also, what are some of your own top nostalgia games of all time? Well, big thanks to my friend Wes for tagging me, and if you don't know his channel, it's Nefarious Wes on YouTube. He puts a lot of thought and time into editing and writing his videos, and if you like my channel, you're gonna love his. He recently did a review for a cool Splatterhouse game on the Famicom that is perfect for October. Okay, this tagnesis is way past its due date, so I'm just going to shout out a few channels, and if anyone wants to post their top 5 most nostalgic video games, then great! Matt Ezero, aka Cygnus Destroyer, Mr. LJN Defender, and the guy hosting Innocent Until Proven Guilty. He helped me out on my last review on Halcyon 6 by voicing an alien, and I'm super thankful, buddy. Please go check out his channel and get ready for a ton of cool content. He loves those old school console games that got kicked around over the years and tries to turn public opinion around. Maybe those games were properly trashed, or maybe they aren't so bad after all. He pours his heart and soul into everything he does, and I'd love for him to see more views on his channel. Trust me, you'll be laughing in no time. Next is Zach from SHMUP Master. For those who don't know what a SHMUP is or why you'd want to master it, it's a portmanteau for shoot 'em up, which refers to those vertical or horizontal space shooter games. And he's pretty damn good at them, like world record good. He's also a wizard at editing video with really high quality content. His animation work is amazing. Check out his Thunder Force 4 video for sure. Lastly, I'll tag my friend Jimmy Hapa, who's always been a big support for my channel. He reviews Japanese games that never reached American shores, but still deserve a chance for us Western gamers. The videos go into detail about many aspects like the game's history, giving us plenty of information to help bridge the gap from Japanese to English. His Getsu Fumiden video is highly recommended, especially for Castlevania fans. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all the great comments I've received over the years. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time.